Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. I create content which is designed to help you grow your online presence, multiply your streams of income, and create profitable businesses. Today I'm filming my first ever TikTok solo video. It is a video which is purely dedicated to TikTok, specifically to TikTok newbies who are trying to grow on the platform. Now, if you followed me for a little while now, you know that I don't like talking about things that I don't fully understand yet, right? So if you're wondering why it took me so long to actually make a video about TikTok, it's because I've been immersing myself on the platform, trying out different strategies and really just doing a lot of research to make sure that I knew what I was talking about a bit, right? So I can give you some real tips that are going to help you. Now, this video is going to be for anyone who is new to TikTok or who is still in like the early stages of their TikTok page and they're trying to grow or hit their first 10K, which is what I just did. So if that's you, then this video is definitely going to be of interest. I also feel like you should probably subscribe to my channel if that's you too, because this is the kind of content that I release on a weekly basis. So let's get to the video. These are my top 5 tips for TikTok newbies. Okay, so I first need to just point out the elephant in the room. Yes, there is a photo missing from my gallery wall. Again, if you've watched any of my other content, you'll know that basically once a year, all of my photos fall down. It's very annoying. I don't know how to stop it from happening. If you have any recommendations for good like sticky tape, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, the first thing or the first tip that I want to give to TikTok newbies or any TikTokers who are trying to grow their account is to really immerse yourself in the platform. There's a few things that come under this, right? So the first thing is just to get used to creating content on the platform. The more content you create on the platform, the easier it becomes. And the second thing is to immerse yourself in the TikTok community that you want to be joining. So I basically am referring to following other creators from within your niche. Now, exercise caution with this because I know some people find it quite triggering to follow a lot of people who are, I guess they're competitors, I hate that word, but like other people within their niche or their category. They don't like to follow them because it can get a bit off-putting and it can kind of like trigger a bit of comparison. So if you're one of those people and you feel like it's actually going to do you more harm than good, then please don't follow that tip. However, if you're not one of those people and you don't get triggered by following other people within your niche, then I recommend heading to TikTok and typing in some keywords related to your niche and looking at the top content and the top creators who appear. I want you to then follow them and to make an active effort to actually watch what they upload. Now, I am not saying to do this because I want you to copy their content. That needs to be made very clear. We are not about imitating others on this channel, right? However, immersing yourself in the community that you are trying to break into gives you really great insight into the type of content that your audience would respond well to. Do they like when people do like the fun video challenges? You know, do they like content which is very comedic? You know, does it have like a comedy angle to it? Or do they like to just sit and watch people rant for 3 minutes, right? It just gives you a lot of inspiration into the types of content that people can create when they're talking about similar subjects that you want to be talking about. The more of this content that you watch and consume, the easier it's going to be for you to come up with your own ideas and to create your own content for the platform. That is one of the biggest things that really helped me. TikTok or any new platform can feel and seem super intimidating at first, but when you really take the time out just to get used to the type of content that's being created on the platform, but also to practice creating content yourself, it becomes so much easier. And that's really a lesson that I learned. Like I took a month out just to immerse myself in the platform. And when I went to launch, my God, was it so much easier and so much less intimidating. Okay, so another thing I'm going to need you to do is to start posting a lot. Now, I don't know how to tell you this because it was quite a tough pill for me to swallow when I first started posting on TikTok, but the actual optimum posting frequency on TikTok, especially when you're trying to grow, get ready guys, is between 3 to 5 posts per day. Now, let me tell you a bit about how this went for me and whether or not this is the type of frequency that you should attempt. So from the beginning, I was like, cool, I'm gonna try and post 3 times a day and just see how it goes. Now, since then, I started in January, by the way, since then, I have been on and off with my frequency of posting. Sometimes I post 3 times a day, sometimes I post once a day. When I go on holiday, I don't post at all, right? So I have not always been posting 3 times a day. However, when I've posted 3 times a day, I have grown significantly quicker. It is quite literally that black and white. When I post more, I grow quicker. And I know that might sound obvious, but honestly, on other platforms like YouTube and Instagram, posting more is going to help your growth, but it's not always that black and white. It's not always like if you post a certain amount of times on Instagram, then you're just going to grow as a result. Obviously, there are other factors to come into play here, such as how good your TikTok content actually is, obviously, but you actually get better at creating TikTok content the more of it that you create. So even if you're not sure if your content is super high quality yet, if you commit to posting 3 to 5 times per day or however much much you can feasibly post, it means that you're going to be creating a lot of content, which means that eventually you're going to get even better at creating the content, and it's really going to help your growth trajectory. Now, something to bear in mind with TikTok, and I've heard a few different rumors and myths about this, and this is where I stand on it, right? So some people will tell you, you have to consistently post on TikTok multiple times a day, and if you stop, the algorithm's going to punish you. Now, I tested this theory a few times. I would like to tell you that I tested this theory on purpose. So like I stopped posting on purpose. I didn't. I just went on holiday and I didn't want to post. But regardless, I went through quite a few periods where I was away or doing something, so therefore I didn't post for like a week at a time. Now, what I did notice is that when I started posting, sometimes it took a few posts for the algorithm to almost remember me and to get my views back up to their average level, which is about a couple thousand. So that's one thing that I did notice. However, I also noticed that during that time that I wasn't posting, I was still growing, and sometimes pretty significantly. One of the reasons for that is because TikTok content has a super long shelf life. So on Instagram, the shelf life, or I don't know, I guess you could just say like the life expectancy. What's a good way of saying that? Like, I don't know, how long your post will continue to be seen by other people. That's what I mean by shelf life, okay? The shelf life for an Instagram post is literally 24 hours to 48 hours. If you're lucky and if your post is really popping off, you might be able to continue to get reach for that post for up to a week after posting, but that is only when your post is doing really, really well. YouTube, the shelf life is basically forever because of how YouTube works. Like my videos from a year ago are still receiving a lot of views, right? So YouTube has a super long shelf life. TikTok is somewhere in between. So I posted this TikTok in March, I want to say, and it still gets views to this day. And it's May. No, it's not. It's June. It's like the 2nd of June, so I'm not fully used to it being June yet. But the point is that I posted that video ages ago and it's still getting views. And that's one of the things that I really love about TikTok, because it means that actually you can take breaks, and whilst you might not grow as quickly as you would be if you was posting consistently, you could still very much grow and not post on TikTok for a week. So whilst I do think the algorithm does pick up on when you've not posted, it might take a little while for it to warm up to you again and get your views back up to the level that you want it to be. You definitely won't be penalized for it, and you could definitely still grow if you don't post. Another thing to flag in regards to how often you should be posting, whilst I did say posting 3 to 5 times is the optimal amount, I don't want you to get really freaked out, especially if you're a complete TikTok novice and maybe you're coming from YouTube or Pinterest or Instagram, and maybe you're hearing that and thinking, oh my God, how am I supposed to create 3 to 5 posts per day? Please rest assured that TikTok posts and TikTok content does not require anywhere near as much effort as Instagram or YouTube posts require, okay? The captions can be a lot shorter, the quality of your content could actually be a lot more raw, it's a lot more authentic, and there are just so many other differences between TikTok content and other social media content, which makes it so much easier to produce. If you're actually more interested in the differences between Instagram and TikTok specifically, I do have a whole video on it, which I absolutely loved creating. Like, I literally break down the differences between the both platforms, pure facts, so that you can understand the differences and make a decision as to which one you want to focus on. So I'm going to link to that video up here. I recommend watching it after this one. Okay, so the next tip or piece of advice that I have for you as a TikTok newbie is to really be yourself. And please don't roll your eyes at me, because I know people probably say that to you all the time, just about everything in life. But when it comes to TikTok, this is super important. Lean into your own personality, your own quirks, the things that make you unique. Lean into it. And don't be afraid to show your personality and to show who you are. The reason why this is so important is because TikTok has this uniqueness about it, where honestly, the value that you provide in your TikToks, whether that be like educational value or like comedic value, like maybe you're funny, whatever the value it is that you provide in your TikTok, it's almost second to your personality. Like, people will follow you if you have valuable content that they can get something from it, whether it's a good laugh or inspiration or something. They'll follow you if you have that, but only if you also have a bit of a personality. Whereas on Instagram and YouTube, the personality element can kind of give you a leg up, but it's not crucial to your success. Whereas on TikTok, it kind of is. Like, the personality element, like it's crucial to your success. Like, people want to feel like they know you. They want to feel like you are welcoming them into your home and into your life. And it really doesn't matter what niche you're in. That fact remains super important. So any way that you can show your personality, tell a joke. If you mess up, leave it in there. If you drop your camera halfway through your filming, great, leave it in there too. Laugh about it, right? Really speak to your audience on TikTok like they're your friends. And I mean, I say to do that with every platform anyway, but my God, is that important on TikTok. So as I said, be yourself, show your personality. That is really what's gonna help you grow on that platform. Okay, let's talk about tactics. So I'm gonna share my 3 favorite tactics that I used on TikTok, which helped me hit that 10K mark, right? The first tactic is to do with my hashtags. So first of all, don't freak out about your hashtags. Don't put too much stress or too much value on your hashtags. It's actually pretty simple in regards to how to properly use hashtags on TikTok. You wanna use hashtags to help TikTok understand what your content is about, okay? That is it, plain and simple. You don't wanna use more than like 5 or 6 hashtags, because ideally, the more specific the hashtag you use, the easier it is for TikTok to understand what your content is about. And if you're really being specific with your hashtags, then it's rare that you're gonna find a bunch of hashtags to use anyway, right? Because the more hashtags you're using, the less likely it is that all of those hashtags are super specific to your content. So don't stress out about them. There's no exact number to use that's gonna absolutely catapult your page to success. However, I do recommend using them anyway and just focusing on using 3 to 5 hashtags which are very specific and very related to your content, right? The next tactic that I used was all around trending sound and trending audio. So if you don't know what I mean by this, it's quite literally a song that is being used by a lot of different other creators. Sometimes it's a song, sometimes it's just a voiceover, but either way it's audio and it's being used by a lot of creators. The reason why this is important is because TikTok will value any content that is using a trending audio, because trending audios are basically a way for content to go viral. So if there's an audio that's trending or that a lot of people are using, it's a sign to TikTok that that is actually a piece of content that people are going to enjoy watching. So if you use that trending audio, there's a big chance that TikTok are going to reward you by pushing your content out onto what they call the For You page, which is TikTok's version of the Explore page, right? If you hit the For You page, it means that your content is going to be seen by a bunch of people who don't follow you yet. And that's what's going to help you grow. So for me, when I use trending audio, I'm usually just using it in the background of when I'm talking to the camera, because that's a lot of what my video content is. However, on occasion, I might just use a trending audio to frame the background of a piece of content where I'm either doing something, I'm moving around, or there's text on the screen and there's just a piece of trending audio in the background. You don't have to use it for every single clip. However, I do think it generally does help your posts get picked up by TikTok's algorithm. So it's up to you if you want to follow that one. I don't always do it, but I have done it on occasion, and I have noticed that the videos that I post that use trending audio do actually tend to perform better than the ones where I don't use trending audio. Now, my third tactic is an age-old trick, which basically involves you uploading a really short video, anything between like 4 to 7 seconds, putting a bunch of interesting text on it and leaving it at that. Right? Throw in a great piece of audio that's trending and you're absolutely golden. But really where this hack comes in is in the short length of your video and in the text that you've got on the screen. The reason why this works is because when you upload short videos onto TikTok, you actually increase the chances of someone watching your video a few times over, because your video was so short that it ends really quickly and it loops back to the beginning super quickly as well, right? So when you put text over this and it's actually interesting text that you know your audience would want to read, there's a big chance that they might not even read all of the text before your video is finished. And whilst that might be a bit annoying, all that will do is trigger your viewer to watch your video again. Right? Because they want to read the text, they want to reread the text, they want to see that video again, so they watch your video again. Now, the more people who watch your video the whole way through, especially, you know, repeatedly, the more likely it is that that video is going to get pushed out by TikTok's algorithm. Because if people are consistently rewatching your video clip, it's a pretty strong signal or a pretty strong sign that your video is really interesting and that people like it, right? So the more you can get people rewatching your video, the better. Now, be careful with this tip, because you don't want to annoy people. You don't want to do like a 2-second video what has loads of text on it, because people won't even read it, right? It will be over too quickly and people will just find it annoying. So just be careful with how you're doing it and really make sure you're balancing the length of the video and how much text or copy you've got on your video too. Last but certainly not least, I need you to have fun with this process, right? I need you to have fun on TikTok, and I need you to have fun when you're creating content for TikTok. The reason why is because it's quite easy to tell when a creator is genuinely enjoying the process of creating content or not. And I'm sure you, being a social media user and using TikTok or using other platforms, you know what I mean? Like, you can see when a content creator actually enjoys creating content. Like, you can get that vibe, you can pick up on it through the screen. And that's especially important and especially true when it comes to video content. Like, there's nowhere to hide on TikTok. You can't hide behind a static photo, right? It's video. People can tell if you actually enjoy creating a TikTok or not. People can pick up on your vibe. So that's one reason. Another thing I want to say in regards to having fun with this process is TikTok is still in its infancy. It's still a fairly new platform. So I want you to make a conscious effort not to get bogged down with all the strategic advice and all of the really serious side of kind of growing your online presence. Now, I know that on Instagram and YouTube, there's just so much what goes into growing. There's so many strategies you need to know about. There's so many things you need to learn. And whilst there's definitely still things to learn about TikTok that's going to help your growth, it's not in the same level of maturity that Instagram and YouTube's at. And that's a beautiful thing. It means that a lot of these strategies that are going to pop up with how to grow on TikTok, like, they don't exist yet. They've not been proven yet. They've not been confirmed by TikTok yet. So we're still, all of us, very much in a kind of testing phase of this platform. So yeah, listen to my tips, listen to other people's tips, try things, but don't get so bogged down that it becomes really clinical and you kind of lose the enjoyment of just experimenting and trying new things on that platform, right? Have fun with it, enjoy the process. And that is the end of my TikTok tips. So I really hope that helped you as someone who's maybe new to the platform or who's just starting to grow. Those are the things that really helped me grow. Let me know if you want an even more in-depth video on any of the things that I spoke about. Please let me know in the comments. But for now, I'm gonna leave you here. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching that video I mentioned previously where I compare TikTok versus Instagram and I talk about the pros and the cons of each platform to help you make the decision as to which platform you should be focusing on. Okay, thanks so much for watching as always. I can't wait to see you in my next video.